All right, people, what is going on? Thank you for tuning into this episode of the LNBE podcast, where LNBE stands for literally nothing but everything. I'm Mike Rispoli. I hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. What'd you guys end up doing? Because I ended up doing nothing. Actually, that's not true. My friend Ethan decided to pay me a visit, and little precursor, or whatever you call it, foreshadowing. That's the word for it. Can you guys tell that I just don't read books? A little foreshadowing for you. Friday's episode is going to be my conversation with Ethan, so that's something to look forward to. Ethan is just like one of my closest friends. He's also a great guy, so hopefully you guys enjoy that episode that I'm going to be putting out on Friday. I got really nothing going on besides watching sports. I actually just got back from watching the Rams game. Actually, you know what? Speaking of the Rams in LA, it really is terrible what's going on over there in LA with all those wildfires. I really do feel bad for everybody who's lost their home. But what I do think is funny is they're only showcasing the celebrities who have lost their homes in LA. And it's like, guys, these are multi-millionaires. I'm sure they're going to be fine. They got houses everywhere. If you think they've only got one house in LA, I think you're wrong. So not all of their memories are going to be burned. It kind of shows you how self-centered Hollywood is in general, because I'm sure there's regular-ass people who live in LA. And what are they doing? All they're doing is showcasing, oh, Ben Affleck's got to go over to Jennifer Gardner's house or whatever because his house burned down. Well, what about Johnny or Stacy or whoever the fuck who's living in LA and they don't have a backup plan because all of these friggin' celebrities are multimillionaires. They've got houses all over. They're going to be fine. It's the people that don't have something that we should be really sad and worried about. It's hard for me to really put my heart out there to some asshole celebrity where if I were to walk up to them on the street, they wouldn't give two shits about me, but I'm supposed to give a shit about them? No. What I'm waiting for is the celebrity to start a GoFundMe page. That would be the icing on the cake. No, I do think it is terrible of what's going on. You never want to see somebody's house being burned down and all this stuff, especially since it's uncontrollable. So my heart does go out. But at the same point, I'm also sitting here I think they're gonna be fine. They can go out to their houses over in the Cape or but I don't know. I don't know where else. Martha's Vineyard. Where else do these people have houses? But speaking of the Rams game, that was actually kind of shocking considering Minnesota is a 14 game winner this season. I thought that they weren't gonna be frauds, but there was a guy on TikTok. I think the program is called Caps Off. Just 3, 4, maybe even 5 guys just sitting there talking football. One of them is a Jets fan, and he made the perfect comment. He goes, you can take the player out of the Jets, but you can't take the Jets out of the player. And that is Sam Darnold. Because, dude, when those lights were on him, he just shut him off. I think he threw 4 picks in the game. He really did not play well. Some MVP caliber season just coming crashing down. And now it's kind of dude, what are you going to do as if you're in the Vikings front office? What are you going to do? You signed Danny Dimes when he got when he got released from the Giants. You got JJ McCarthy, hasn't even taken a snap yet. You drafted him just this past year, so I don't know. Decisions that you are going to have to make if you were in that Vikings front office, and I would not want to be there for when that decision is made. Because given how Sam Darnold did play, there was moments of greatness, so you wonder if he's going to be able to take that and bring it somewhere else, or if he just is Sam Darnold and he just does what Sam Darnold does, which is seeing ghosts out there on the field. I don't know. But it's really hard to count out Sean McVay and Matt Stafford on that Rams team. I think Sean McVay is just an unbelievable coach. I don't care how young he is. And Matt Stafford, that dude has just always been a dog. Probably one of the most underlooked quarterbacks ever. It truly is, just because in the NFL he was playing in the slums over there in Detroit. But I remember when he threw for 4,000 yards in a season, dude didn't even get a Pro Bowl nom. Playing on shitty teams and you just don't get the recognition that you deserve. No, I think Stafford is an absolute dog, and that Rams team is healthy. I think that Rams team is going to be a problem for whoever plays them next. I thought the Eagles were somewhat fraudy, but they looked pretty good against the Packers. I don't know. This has been a very bizarre NFL season. So I think the playoffs are just going to be a continuation of that. Like, teams that you think would win didn't win. Teams that you didn't think would win did win. I mean, I never would have picked the Texans over the Chargers. CJ Stroud finally is coming up and looking like somewhat of an old CJ Stroud that we saw last year. Even though he lost two of his biggest weapons, I think that's going to be the Texans' downfall because they lost two of their wide receivers. But I don't know, they just made the Chargers look silly. So I have no idea what to expect with this friggin' team. I'm just rooting for anybody who can take down the Chiefs. That is my biggest thing. I don't care if people think, oh, the first three-peat, XYZ. No. I think it would be bad for the league, especially when you've got teams like the Bills and the Lions who are so desperate for a win. I think seeing a team that hasn't been there before would be much better than seeing a team three-peat, but that's on me. Could also just be my absolute hatred for the Chiefs. Yeah, that's right, hatred. I fucking cannot stand this team. And it's funny because I'm a Pats fan, so I had 20 years of bliss. And all the shit that I've been bitching about is all the same shit that everybody was bitching about when I was a Pats fan. Like, oh, the refs are on their side. Oh, they're getting the call. It wasn't to this level. I will bitch about it until the day is long. That fucking right tackle on the Chiefs, every play getting a false start. You would never have seen that on those Pats dynasty teams. You just wouldn't. That shit would have been called. Chiefs are getting away with a lot of bullshit. And the refs truly are a 13th man on the field for them. I don't care what anybody says. Yeah, I'm like, oh, Jesus, I'm only 7 minutes into this thing. And I got nothing going on. All right, we'll talk about this for a bit. You guys see this sex robot thing? AI, can it go too far? I absolutely think it 100% can go too far. And you know what I think? I think what it is just a bunch of nerds who aren't getting laid. And they're just literally creating weird science. If you guys have ever seen that movie. If you haven't seen it, it's a really funny movie. I don't remember when it came out. Either late 80s, maybe mid 90s. And they're just like, oh, well, if we can't get a woman to touch our dick, we'll just make one that can. I swear to God, dude. At first I thought sex robots were just a joke, but they are legit. And I keep seeing this thing. So I looked it up. And according to Forbes.com, this is no joke. Here's an exact quote. An AI partner, a company at CES 2025, is willing to sell you a robot girlfriend if you've got $175,000 to spare. Dude, if you've got $175,000, what woman wouldn't you be able to get? Age holds no bounds to what a person has in their wallet. I mean, look at Trump. You think he got Melania based off of his sparkling personality and good looks? That dude literally looks like a freaking tractor tire. Come on. Oh my God. I just got to bring this up real quick too. The whole thing about that dude's ear, nobody can tell me that dude got shot. There's no way that there's not a conspiracy with that. How in the fuck do you have a 2mm hole shot through your ear? And all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, you're giving a speech or whatever, and that thing is healed? Oh, well, he probably got it sewn up. I've seen people with gauges when they come to their senses and get rid of those stupid fucking things, and they still have the fucking scars and the stitches from whatever it was from that gaping hole. I have an earring hole that I don't use anymore because I came to the realization that wearing an earring is kind of douchey. I blame my sister. She was the one who pierced it. And um that hole hasn't even fully healed. And that thing isn't a fucking 2 millimeter gape at the top of my ear. So don't tell me that that wasn't somewhat staged. It just doesn't make sense to me. Oh, you're gonna have a guy give you however much money to a Democratic uh donor. No, I think it was 100% staged. I don't know, man. Just the fact that his ear. What is this guy? Is this guy AI? Is Trump AI where he just regenerates? Like this just doesn't make sense. Oh well, Trump is only one example. All right, how about this? Bill Belichick getting some hot 24-year-old to go out with him, dude. If you're a 24-year-old woman, do you really find a 70-year-old man attractive? No. It's got to be based on what his wallet is. Dude, I would have loved to be the father in that room. Oh, honey, who are you bringing over? Oh, he's my boyfriend. How old is your boyfriend? He's 70 years old. And then Bill Belichick, of all fucking people, walks in that room. Dude, I couldn't even be mad at that, though. Like, at first, I hear 70-year-old, I'd be pissed. But Bill Belichick walks in. What's the over-under on how many minutes it would take me to just be like, yo, Bill, like, can I get that autograph real quick? I could also just be being a dick here. There is also that possibility. I don't know. I just don't know. Like, you're some hot 20-something-year-old. You're young, you're wild, you're free. And here you are using straps, not just to tie the person to the bed, but just to make sure that those folds and flaps don't go all over the place to make it a little less grotesque. Like, I don't know, man. If I got any lady listeners hearing this and they are with somebody who is of significant age difference of them, like if you are a Bill Belichick and his girlfriend, if you're dating somebody who's 50 years your senior, what do you see in that person? Is it honestly maybe just for the fact that older men maybe treat women with a little bit more respect than the modern generation? Because, like, I hear the stories. Like, my friends go out with guys and stuff, or girls at bars that I'm always hearing bitch moaning and complaining about their situationships or their ex-boyfriends and stuff and how they treated them. I don't know. Is there something to that? Is it just maybe in the ways that the older generation treats women versus like the new generation? I don't know. I really don't know. I'm just trying to extend some sort of an olive branch because, as we all know, I tend to not know what I'm talking about nearly half the time. So I would really love to know what people see in that because I could never date somebody who's 50 years older than me at this point in my life. Like, I couldn't imagine going out with somebody who's 80. Like, that just does not seem appealing to me. Oh, well, love does tend to find you in strange ways, or whatever the saying is. But in this case, where did you find this magical love? In a nursing home? What? Did you find this artifact underneath a rock? 6 feet deep? Like, that's where they're heading in a few years. But, alright, going back here to the AI girlfriend stuff. Forbes.com. Realbotics is an American firm with a range of AI robots that it claims can fulfill a variety of roles, including acting as a brand representative at the sales booth. Are robots just going to take over human jobs? Are they even trying to hide it anymore? What, we can't enslave humans, so we're just going to start enslaving robots? Hang on, where was I? You can also use it as a companion for elderly people. All right, that makes sense. When they can't find a young hottie, who the fuck else are they going to bide their time with? But then the article goes on to say, or even as a romantic partner to tackle the staggering loneliness epidemic. Dude, can you fuck a robot? Like, does it have those parts? Imagine going up to your, like, robot girlfriend, yo, what that hand do? Because, like... What is the point? You better test that thing's grip strength or your dick is gonna get ripped off. Like, my God. I'm assuming that hand jobs would be the name of the game with that thing because I don't know how you would actually get like somewhat functioning parts that would actually feel like an actual person if you are trying to use it for sex. Dude, I remember back in the day on TLC, they had that My Strange Addiction thing. And everybody used to make fun of that guy that thought his car was a girlfriend. But how much different is this? What, because it looks like a human? That makes it any different? And I'm sorry, if you're so lonely, you could just go out and get a dog. But if you are lonely and you are getting or thinking of getting a dog, only get one if you can, one, afford it, and two, you know what you're getting into. Because I don't want to see that thing going back to a shelter. Oh, we just didn't know how much work it was. Yeah, well, you're a fucking piece of work too. You don't see me driving you off to the side of the road and taking off. Like, my God, have some compassion. But yeah, nobody's telling you that you can't go hang out with your friends. Like, say what you want. The world has kind of gotten back to normal. Companies are forcing us to go back into the office. Like, don't tell me that you're so lonely. The amount of people that I've gone out with, or the amount of people that I've spoken to, and they're just like, oh, I just really like my alone time. No, you like your alone time when it's feasible to you. Like, you're selfish. But honestly, like, what is the statute of limitations on these fucking robots? Like, what can you do and what can it do? It's crazy because then this thing says that the robots can be configured as either male or female, and the company claims that it can even replicate historical figures. Oh my gosh, you just get a Biden robot and it's just bouncing off the walls because it doesn't know where it's going. You get a Trump one, it's just the most selfish thing. Get prepared for the best sex you've ever had. It's gonna be bigly. Best sex. You're gonna have to do all of the work, but I promise you it's gonna be the best. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I was worried, everybody was worried that with AI and stuff, that jobs would be taken over because, especially in marketing or whatever, like, you can have ChatGPT just write you out a blog, write you out a newsletter, XYZ. Even the digital arts, like, you could just get something. You just say, oh, here's what I'm looking for, and it'll print you out a picture. Like, I knew it was going to get rid of jobs. I didn't realize that these things were also going to, like, represent people and get rid of people. But if we're so lonely that we need robots as a companion, like, I don't know, listen to a podcast. That's what I did during the pandemic. I was living in a 1-bedroom apartment in Bristol, Rhode Island, and I was listening to podcasts just to make it sound like I was with people before I came down to my hometown, stayed with my parents for a bit. I don't know, man. People are crazy. The world is crazy. But honestly, to a certain degree, I also wonder if having robots as people would maybe make the world a little bit of a better place. Because people are just some of the most arrogant and self-centered people. Dude, I almost killed this one guy because he was just not parked right at a gas station. This dude in the truck, it's always a dude in the truck. You got 2 pumps open. It's one station. And this dude just decides to park his truck in the second space and doesn't pull up to the front. And I'm just like, dude, if you went to a restaurant with 4 people and you were one of the first peoples at the booth, would you just sit right on the edge and have people climb over you, or would you have slid fully into the booth? Because I feel like the same philosophy applies to whether you're at a restaurant and you're in a gas station. Like, if there's a free pump, I always pull up because I don't want somebody blocking me in if I don't have to have them blocking me in. Like, common sense goes a long way, but apparently people just don't have it. And maybe that's why we're also creating robots, because robots are programmed to have common sense that people just don't have. I don't know, man. I really don't know. But on that note, I think I'm going to let you guys go. If you guys did like this episode, please make sure that you share it with a friend. Rate, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you guys are liking it, because without you guys, this would be for nothing. And I really do appreciate all the support that you guys have given me. And without your help, this podcast will go nowhere. So please continue to keep doing that if you guys are liking the show. And if you guys want to reach out to me, you can feel free to email me at lnbemedia@gmail.com. All right, have a fantastic week ahead, and I'll catch up with you guys later.